Welcome back to Rambler Sports Locker. I'm RSL reporter Gabby Lumma. This week we are covering news in both Loyola athletics and Chicago sports, so let's get right into it. The Chicago Bulls are off to a hot 6-1 start in their season, and joining me in the studio today is RSL reporter Victoria Williams to tell you more about the Bulls' latest win against the Boston Celtics.
The Chicago Bulls had a huge comeback win over the Boston Celtics at the TD Garden Inn in Boston, Massachusetts. The Bulls beat the Celtics 128-114 Monday night, making the team 6-1. Small forward DeMar DeRozan scored 37 points, and the Bulls rallied from a 19-point second-half deficit. Shooting guard Zach LaVine scored 26 points, and center Nikola Vucevic had 11 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. Small forward Jaylen Brown scored 28 points for the Celtics, who've lost their last 3 games in a row. The Chicago Bulls visit Philadelphia Wednesday night to battle the 76ers, who are 5-2. For Rambler Sports Soccer, I'm RSL reporter Victoria Williams.
Thanks, Victoria. This week marks the start of the basketball season for the Loyola men's basketball team. The team played the University of Wisconsin Stout on Wednesday night for their exhibition game, which they won in a blowout 93-43. Top scorers included Braden Norris with 17 points, Lucas Williamson, Jacob Hudson, and Aher Ugwak scored all in the double digits. In other Loyola athletics news, the women's soccer team is entering their 4th straight Missouri Valley Conference Championship as regular season champions. Here to tell you more about the women's soccer tournament is RSL reporter Nick Neumayer.
After securing a 4th straight Missouri Valley Conference regular season title last week, the women's soccer team is set to host the Missouri Valley Conference Championship this weekend at Loyola Soccer Park. The Ramblers will be looking to bring the same energy that they carried in last week's victory against Valparaiso, in which they beat them by a score of 5-0 and held them to no shots on goal throughout the entire game. The Ramblers will come into the tournament after sweeping all 3 Valley Weekly Awards, as graduate student Catherine Stevens was named Offensive Player of the Week, senior Abbey Swanson with Defensive Player of the Week, and freshman Taylor Harrison rounding it off with her 3rd Freshman of the Week award. The Ramblers will take on Drake in the semifinal game on Friday with a 6 p.m. kickoff. If they win that game, they will move on to the championship, where they will face either the number 2 Valparaiso or the 6th-seeded Evansville on Sunday at 1 p.m. For the Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Nick Neumayer.
Thanks, Nick. The men's soccer team is preparing for their last regular season game this Saturday against number 1 seed Missouri State. After their loss to Southern Illinois University Edwardsville, the Ramblers are looking to end their regular season with a big win. The Loyola cross-country team is heading into the postseason this weekend after winning the MVC conference last weekend. RSL reporter Kihmm is here in the studio to tell you about the team's win.
The Loyola women's cross-country team finished 1st in the Missouri Valley Conference championship race this past weekend. This is their 3rd straight victory in a row in their division. Loyola scored 36 points in the race, with a whopping gap of 26 points between them and second-place finisher Bradley University, who scored 62. The team was led by star runner Annika Murren, who finished 1st in the 6K race overall, averaging a 5-minute 30-second pace with a finishing time of 20 minutes 35.3 seconds. Murren made a new personal record for herself by cutting off an astounding 30 seconds to her previous 6K time. Followed by her was graduate student Mimi Reimers, who finished 22 seconds behind Murren, ranking 2nd in the race overall. Senior Kathleen Sims finished 4th, followed by Claire Hengesbaugh, finishing 6th overall. Finally, freshman Nora Wallen finished 23rd in the race to complete the top 5 runners for Loyola. Associate head coach Alan Peterson was named the MVC Women's Cross Country Coach of the Year. The women's team has an off week this weekend, but will travel to Iowa City on Friday, November 12th for the NCAA Midwest Regional. Reporting for Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Lucas Kihmm.
Thanks, Lucas. On Monday, the Loyola women's volleyball team hosted Drake University and continued their 6-game winning streak. Here to break down the Ramblers' win is RSL reporter Tori Van Arsdale.
The Loyola women's volleyball team is on a roll after winning its last 6 matches, including the sweep against Drake at Gentile Arena on Monday night. The Ramblers won their sets 25-14, 25-17, and 25-16. Initially, things were looking up for the Drake Bulldogs, posting an 8-4 advantage in the first set, but their lead didn't last long. Junior outside hitter Addie Barnes put on a show as she recorded 17 kills and hit .727 on the night. There were plenty of other outstanding performances from the Maroon and Gold, including sophomore outside hitter Carly McNabb and sophomore defensive specialist Grace Hinchman. The Ramblers' win over Drake contributed to their perfect 10-0 at-home win streak, as well as the team's overall record of 19-6. Loyola has remained far ahead in the #1 spot in the Missouri Valley Conference rankings following their most recent win. Trailing behind in second is Illinois State with a record of 14-11. Loyola women's volleyball set to face Valparaiso on the road this Friday the 5th. For the Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Tori Van Arsdale.
Thanks, Tori. The lawsuit involving the Chicago Blackhawks is ever-changing, with more resignments and details coming to light. Here to detail the updates on the case is RSL reporter Abbey Sileo.
Over the past week, more information has come out about the Chicago Blackhawks sexual assault case. Most notably, Kyle Beach identified himself as the John Doe who was allegedly assaulted by former video coach Brad Aldrich. Beach was a member of the Blackhawks minor league team, the Rockford Ice Hogs, and was 20 years old at the time of the incident. In an interview with TSN, Beach says he wanted to come forward to show other survivors that they are not alone. The NHL community, including the Blackhawks, have since praised Beach for his courage. The day after Beach came forward, former Blackhawks coach Joel Quenneville resigned as head coach of the Florida Panthers. Quenneville coached the Blackhawks for 11 seasons before being fired in 2018. The Jenner and Block investigation report claims Quenneville knew of the allegations in the weeks after the incident. In past interviews, Quenneville denied his knowledge of the allegations. After meeting with NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman, Quenneville announced his resignation, a decision Bettman says he agrees with. Bettman also met with former Blackhawks assistant general manager Kevin Cheveldayoff, who was also implicated in the alleged cover-up. He spent 2 seasons with the Blackhawks and is now the executive vice president and general manager of the Winnipeg Jets. Cheveldayoff will face no punishment for his alleged involvement. Lastly, the Blackhawks asked the Hockey Hall of Fame to remove Aldrich's name from the Stanley Cup. Blackhawks owner and chairman Rocky Wirtz sent a letter to Hockey Hall of Fame chairman Lanny McDonald, saying they made a mistake letting his name be added with the 2010 championship team. The request was granted on Wednesday. For Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Abbey Sileo.
Thanks, Abbey. To keep up to date with all things Rambler Sports, be sure to follow Loyola RSL on Twitter and Instagram. From everyone here at Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Gabbi Lumma, and don't forget to turn out the lights.